Hey guys, welcome back to the shop. Been in here doing a little work today. I didn't record it unfortunately, but we polished up a couple of pocket knives here for my son. Cleaned them up real nice and sharpened them. Got the we got the blades looking pretty good, and they're all sharp as a razor. So this one was already in pretty decent shape. It just needed to be sharpened mainly, but we buffed it up and polished up those bolsters and that a little bit just to kind of make it look a little prettier. Then he had this really old one. These were his grandpa's knives. He had this really old one that was really pretty messed up. The blades were rusty. These bolsters were really dull. Now the bolsters are gone from this end. It's been broken. This is a really old knife. It's an old Iroquois, made in the USA is what it says on it. And these blades were really rusty. And we got them, brought those back to life, polished them up, sharpened it up like a razor. We'll show you. It was quite dull with all the rust on it and what have you, but she will cut now. So it's got two blades. It's got another smaller blade. We got it all cleaned up, polished up, shined up, got as much of the rust out of there as we could. But we brought it back, made it a pretty knife again. The scales are kind of beat on it. Takes these tiny little pins, and this furthest pin down here, where the hinge end of it is kind of loose. Really not a whole lot I can do about that. I kind of tried to suck through on this side is what's happened. If I had some pin material that small, I might be able to repin it, but with the hole brought out, you know, it pulled the end of the pin through the hole. So what I thought we would go ahead and work on this butcher knife a little. Now you remember I said that we had these, there was cuts, one on each side, one on the top, one on the bottom here. It looked like someone had taken a hacksaw and sawed into it. I don't know why they would have, but we made up a paste with some brown sawdust and wood glue, and we're going to take this and take this on the grinder and clean that up and see how it looks. So, and then we'll then I think we're going to work on trying to buff this blade out a little smoother. I got my buffing wheel set up, my Harbor Freight buffer that I bought way back in the spring. So we're going to set that up. We're going to clean this up. We got that set up. We're going to try to see if we can't buff this blade out and get it a little cleaner, and then put a nice edge on it. So let's get after it. So we've got a 60 grit belt, but it's a used 60 grit, so it's about half worn out. I don't want to use a full 60 grit on this, so we're using about a half worn out 60 grit. So as you can see the saw mark here. You can see where we put the filler in there. This back here, you can see the cut there. We filled that. This side here had a cut right, well, it was right here. So you can see where we filled that one in. And then this top had a cut and a big chip out of it too, right here in the center. And we filled that in. Now I'm afraid it's going to come down to some hand sanding. We're going to go ahead and clean this edge up. That's pretty sharp on both sides. We're going to clean these edges up a little bit. But then it's going to be on to the hand sanding, I believe. So our handle's looking pretty good. It's too bad that this still stands out like it does. I thought that that mixed up little glue paste that I made would almost match that color, but it looks better than hole sawed in the end of it. So, and once we put a little wax in there and it absorbs some wax, it might even surprise us. So now see, there's some marks in here. I don't know what might have caused that, but we're going to put a small wheel on here with our small wheel attachment and get inside of there a little bit and try to clean that up. Okay, we got our small wheel attachment on here, so that should fit right in there nicely to kind of clean that up a little. guys, we'll call this video number 1 of refurbishing this butcher knife. We got a good start on it. Got our handle pretty cleaned up here. Hand sanded it for quite some time. And these lines, they still show up a little, but they're not bad. I think once we get some wax on this handle and get it polished up and what have you, it's going to look pretty good. So that's where we are on that. And my friend Scott was going to give this to his niece. She was working as a butcher. He doesn't even remember where he got it, but at any rate, apparently she doesn't do that anymore. She doesn't have use for it. It's a big old professional butcher knife, you know. This is something you wouldn't use this, I don't think, to trim the fat off of the steak in your kitchen. So when we get this all finished up and this handle polished and get a good edge on and everything, it's probably going to go like right up here or something like that. Put it on display. It'll be a perfectly good usable knife if Scott wants to take it home or whatever, but he said let's just hang it up at the bar, so that's what we're going to do. So anyway guys, that's it for today. I got to wrap this up and get cleaned up and get ready to go to bed here in a little bit. Got work early in the morning, so it's New Year's Day today. Happy New Year, everyone. Hope the new year brings you health, wealth, and happiness, and much joy in life. I know I had a great year in 2018, and I'm looking forward to having an even better year this year, I think. So, you know, with all we've done to the shop and the tools that I have and what have you. And I also wanted to mention, whenever you're using one of these bench buffers like that thing is the most dangerous tool in your shop. I don't care what you have, torches, drills, saws. That buffer is the most dangerous tool you'll have in your shop. It can grab a knife and fling it or pull it out of your hands or whatever. So always be so careful if you're using one of those bench buffers like that. I need to take that one. Today's the first time I've ever used it. I've had it for a while, but I need to take that and mount it somewhere where I have open space below the buffing wheels and that, so that I'm not so restricted on, you know, how I have to hold my knife and move my knife in there. You want a nice open area for that, but like I say, we just fired it up today for the first time. But it does a good job. I really like it, but we're going to get it mounted up some way better. So anyway, I appreciate y'all being here as usual. Thanks for joining me in the shop today. Get out to your shop, do something, fix something, tear something up, clean, whatever. Just get out to your shop and have a good time and be safe. Always be safe when you're working in your shop. Again, hope the new year brings you all great joy and luck and happiness. And we'll see you on the next one.